What is up, YouTube fam? Robbie C here. If you are checking out this video, that means you are either interested or have downloaded the game Marvel Snap. Now, while it released to the world on October 18th, a few people had access to the beta and a few countries got access to it a little early. But if you're anything like me, we're always looking to get as much of a competitive advantage on all of our opponents as we possibly can, and Marvel Snap is absolutely no different. So I wanted to give you a few quick tips and break down some of the ways that the game functions so that you can get as much of an advantage and climb through the collection system as fast as possible to start playing with those cards and heroes and villains that you've absolutely been looking forward to in the Marvel Universe. When talking about Marvel Snap, we need to understand that there are 3 different tracks that you can progress your way up as you play the game. The first is going to be the competitive track. Now, the competitive track, you're going to move up and down every single time that you play a game. You can think of Marvel Snap as a simple game of poker, where each player is going to wager 1 power cube apiece. At any point during the game, when a player finds confidence, they can snap, which means they tap that power cube icon at the top of the screen, which instantly doubles the stakes of the game. If both players snap at the end of the game is going to be worth 8 cubes overall. For every 10 power cubes you gain, you're going to move 1 level up on the track. Every 10 levels, you're going to unlock a new prize. As you progress further up the track, you're going to unlock even better prizes, including custom icons, larger amounts of credits and gold, which are a currency that we'll talk about a little bit later on in this video. And at the very top, for the last 2 seasons, we've had a custom card back for reaching the infinite rank. At the end of every competitive season, which lasts for approximately 1 month, you are going to be demoted 30 ranks from the highest tier rank that you reached, which means if you reach Galactic and you're sitting at 90, you're going to drop all the way to 60. But if you make your way all the way up to 99 and do not reach infinite, you're still going to drop down 30 levels to diamond level at 60. One of the biggest perks to reaching infinite is that there is a cap set on infinite. So no matter how many games in a row you lose, you cannot lose enough power cubes to drop you below 100. Once you've unlocked infinite, feel free to test out those card combos you've been seeing those crazy YouTubers make, and know that you're going to start the next season's climb at rank 70. Speaking of seasons, the next track that you can make your way up is the Season Pass. Like most games that have come out in the modern era, the Season Pass has both a free track and a paid track. The cost for the Season Pass comes in at about $15 a month, which unlocks an exclusive or custom card. Now, during the month of its release, this card can only be claimed through the Season Pass, but don't worry, for you free-to-play players out there, it will be moved into the free-to-play pool 2 months after release. Every time that you play a game, you're going to earn Season Pass experience, which progresses you up the Season Pass track, unlocking fantastic prizes like we saw over on the competitive track. They also have some custom options that are pretty fantastic. So if you're going to be spending money on this game, one of the first places that I always recommend people spend it is on the Battle Pass. However, I do not recommend buying the added 10 levels, especially if you know that you're going to play. That money can better be spent elsewhere, and we'll talk about that in a second. Now, another way that you're going to gain experience for your Season Pass is by going to the missions. Every 8 hours, you're going to receive 2 daily missions. These daily missions come in an easy and hard variety. Easy missions are going to earn you 50 credits and 25 experience to the Season Pass track, and the hard missions are going to earn you double that experience and double that credit value. Now, the last way and the easiest way to climb your way up the Season Pass track is through the Season Pass missions. These are going to be missions that are a little more difficult to pull off and often take a lot more time to achieve than your daily missions. These are meant to be done over time because they reward you a ton of experience on that Season Pass. Each chapter of the Season Pass has 7 unique missions that once that chapter unlocks, you get a new mission from that chapter every single day. Not only that, but once you complete the chapter, you get bonus experience for completing the chapter, which often is at least 2 levels on the Season Pass. But as cool as this is, we want to talk about the third track that you can climb, and probably the one you're most interested in, and that is the collection level. When it comes to card games, a big struggle that often happens on the internet, especially in games, is that there becomes a meta of cards that you're going to need in order to be competitive. And one of Marvel Snap's biggest claims and best features is that you can't just go out with a wad of money and purchase the best cards out there in the current meta. That means that if you want to have amazing decks and unlock all of the amazing cards and heroes that you're looking forward to playing, you're going to have to do one thing, and that is play the game. The more you play the game, the more familiar you're going to become with the strategies and decks that are out there, as well as grow your collection over time. At the point of making this video, Marvel Snap's system of cards, or its database of cards, or collection you might say, is broken into 4 categories. There's an introductory category moving you from collection level 0 through 18. Then you reach Pool 1, which starts at collection level 18 and moves all the way up to collection level 214. Pool 1 contains 46 cards, and this is where we get to 2 of my favorite features in the game. The first is that you aren't introduced to all of the cards at the same time. Matchmaking is based on 2 things. 1, your collection level, and 2, your place on the competitive track. So at collection level 18 or 20, you're not going to be going against the people that have unlocked hundreds and hundreds of cards because you don't have those options yet, and also it can be overwhelming to try to learn all of those cards at the same time. That's why collection level 1 has 46 cards in it. You don't have to be able to identify all of the strategies that are happening when you play the game, because you only have to be learning a fixed amount of cards at one time, and you're going to see them all throughout your games. Which takes me to my second favorite part of this game, and that is how you unlock those cards on the collection level. And that is that while the pool contains the same cards for every single player, the order that you unlock them is going to be different for every single player. That means if you and your best friend are both playing Marvel Snap, at level 18, you might be like me and unlock Mr. Sinister, but your friend might be feeling that Dino Fury and have unlocked Devil Dinosaur at level 18 on their own personal collection track. Now don't worry, like I said, the same cards are locked in for Pool 1 for every single player. So by the time that you reach collection level 214, you will have unlocked all of the same cards and all of those Pool 1 cards. Now how you use those cards is entirely up to you, but I've actually released 3 videos here on the channel talking about my favorite decks to help you climb in Pool 1 using Pool 1 exclusive cards. So knowing that we want to go through and unlock all of these cards to have more options and playability as we progress, you may be asking yourself, Robbie, how am I supposed to move up this collection track? And that comes from upgrading your cards. When you go to your collection, which is the second button from the left on the very bottom of the screen, you're going to see all of the cards that you've unlocked. When there are green arrows moving up, that means that you have earned enough boosters to upgrade that card. Now, boosters are a currency that you gain not only from the 2 tracks that we mentioned before in the competitive and season pass tracks, but also every single game that you play, you're going to earn boosters towards the cards that are inside of the deck that you played with during that game. Once you have enough boosters and credits, you can use those to upgrade the card. The bigger the upgrade, the more you move up the collection track. Now, there are 6 upgrades that you can make to every single card that you have in your collection, and these upgrades make the cards, honestly, just look a lot cooler. There is no change in the card's ability. There is no change in how much it costs to play. All it does is add even cooler aesthetics to the already amazing aesthetics that exist in the Marvel Snap universe. These visual upgrades can go from a frame break, which takes an incredibly basic card and allows you to start moving beyond the borders, all the way up to an infinite upgrade, which adds max value to the card. The other amazing part about these upgrades is that they immediately show inside of the game, so all of your opponents get to see the awesome and amazing cards that you've upgraded and appreciate the cool art as well. But probably the meat of this video and why you clicked here is understanding how to spend the currency that you gain in the game. When you first get into the game, a lot of people can believe that they are going to be overwhelmed with too many credits and not have enough boosters to play the game. This happens to most players who just log in every 8 hours to play their 2 daily missions. There's a credit cap at 5,000 credits, which means that you can no longer gain any credits and you're going to have to spend some in order to start being able to earn credits again. Because of that, when you head to the shop, you're going to see the fast upgrade button. And especially when you start playing the game, this seems super fantastic because you want to get those upgrades and you have the credits to spend. So why not spend 50 credits on that Giganto upgrade? Because yeah, I don't have those boosters and I'd have to play more games and that's just going to take more time, but I could get new cards if I just move up the track, Robbie. But let me tell you that the fast upgrade section of the shop is an absolute trap, and it is the most inefficient way to climb up the track. I promise you, the more that you play, you're going to end up with hundreds, if not thousands of boosters on your cards that you won't be able to spend because you simply do not have enough credits to upgrade your cards. My Agatha, for instance, I have 1,711 boosters that I could use to upgrade this card, because no matter how many variants of the cards you have, the boosters apply to every single variant of that specific card. Credits are almost always going to be what holds you back from progressing up the collection track. Speaking of variants, another function of the shop is that that every day you're going to receive 6 variants that you can purchase with gold, which is the currency that you can use real money to purchase inside of the game. Now, variants similar to upgrading the card do not offer any special powers or abilities to the card. It's simply a creative look or take on the cards you love to make them look a little cooler. I'll put a link right here that you can go to look up the different variants that exist for your favorite cards out there. So for the whales or people who want to spend money on the game, how do we utilize our gold and credits as efficiently as possible? First, let's talk about gold. You can earn gold in one of 3 ways. You can earn gold from moving up the season pass track, you can earn gold from moving up the competitive track, and eventually once you reach the high collection levels, you're going to stop earning cards in a fixed rate and you're going to start unlocking collector's caches, which also have a chance to contain gold. Do I believe that spending gold on your variants is a good use of gold? If we're talking about sheer efficiency to climb the collection track and gain new cards as fast as possible, no, it is not a good use of your gold because you're never going to be offered a variant in the shop for a card that you don't have. But if you're sitting on a ton of gold, which you can acquire pretty easily over time, if you see a variant pop up that you think is pretty nifty, feel free to reach out and grab it. 700 gold or 1200 gold if the variant is rare is going to be totally worth it when you get to show off that sick card to your friends. Now, should you use gold to simply buy credits in this option of the shop, since I keep talking about how credits are going to hold you back from moving up the track? While I do think this is a good option, it is not the best or most efficient option in the game. The most efficient place that you can spend your gold is on mission refills. It costs you 120 gold to refill 2 missions into your daily missions queue. You're going to receive 1 easy mission and 1 hard mission on that mission refill, no matter how far along in that 8-hour refresh time period you are. This does not reset your 8-hour window overall. It gives you 2 missions alongside of that 8-hour window, not rather than that 8-hour window, which means that for 120 gold, you can get 150 credits as well as 75 season pass experience, which moves you further up the season pass track and also gives you more rewards in that vein as well. At the point of this video's release, there's actually a cap in how often you're allowed to do the mission refill, which gives you a good insight into knowing that the developers know this is the best way to spend gold because that's why they put the cap on it. There are few caps that exist anywhere else inside of the game, so you definitely, if you want to climb as fast as possible, want to be using this gold in that way. Now, the last tip that I'll give you in order to use your credits as efficiently as possible is to understand that the best use of credits and the most efficient moment of using your credits is on those initial frame breaks. If you're scrolling through your collection and you can see that you have a lot of gray cards or cards that have not been frame broke. For instance, my Quinjet has a gray border around it, and in order to upgrade it, I only need 5 boosters and 25 credits. This is the cheapest collection level climb to credit purchase that exists in the entire game. After this initial frame break, it is going to cost 50 credits per level that I want to climb on the collection track. So if you're looking to climb as fast as possible, I want to introduce you to my quick tip, and that is the collection deck. What you're going to do for the collection deck is find cards in your collection that have not been frame broken yet, and basically just add 12 of them to the collection deck. Remember that at the end of every single game, you're going to gain boosters for the cards that are in the deck that you played with. Now, you may be saying, Robbie, what if I don't have an entire deck of non-frame broken cards to fill an entire deck? My next suggestion would be is to go through your collection and find cards that you know are traditionally pretty powerful and help you win games, such as Iron Man is a fantastic option in Pool 1, but the one that I want you to put in your collection is a card that you have upgraded almost as much as you possibly can. For instance, I've upgraded this Iron Man variant pretty much the entire way, and one of the ways that you can cheat the system to getting boosters to the cards that you actually want to upgrade and see that visual prowess increase is by making sure that they remain low. The system is always going to be more biased in choosing and giving boosters to your less upgraded cards inside of your deck. So it can be worth it at times if you have a card that you're really looking forward to upgrading, to save some credits for upgrading that card all the way and make sure sure that it's in your deck that you're playing with, and don't be tempted to upgrade it at the end of the game. Now, the last tip that I really want to give you when it comes to your first week in Marvel Snap is that you want to be playing with as many cards as possible. Experiment, try out a bunch of different decks and options and cards so that you can get familiar with what cards are out there, and maybe you're going to find success with a discard deck when you've been trying to play a move deck, or maybe the move deck's going to work for you instead of an on reveal deck. But you'll never know until you try it, and the more cards you play with, you're going to be unlocking more boosters, which is allowing you to climb up the collection level even faster, which is going to unlock more cards and give you more combo potential. It's just sort of a cycle that builds on itself if you're willing to get out there and play with more cards more often. While there can be value to playing with the same deck and just launching your way up the competitive track, especially when you're new to the game and in your first week, you're going to want to be playing as many cards as possible and playing as many decks as possible to see sort of what fits your play style. While I love my Marvel superheroes, I love my Marvel supervillains even more, and it's been fantastic getting to see them get out and just decimate their superhero counterparts. So I hope this video has been helpful and given you a little bit of insight so that you don't make the same mistakes I did and hit that fast upgrade button over and over again and then have your hands thrown up in the air when you don't have enough credits to upgrade the cards that you actually want to upgrade and move your way up that collection level track a little bit faster. If you've got questions that I didn't answer in this video, feel free to hit the comments below, because I'm always looking forward to trying to use the comments section as a resource to help as many people as possible. And if you've got the question, odds are someone else has the same question too. With all of that said, I hope you have an amazing rest of the week, and I hope that you can make it fantastic for someone else too. For now, I'm going to dive into a game and start gaining some more power cubes, but I'm going to leave you with the snap and the wombo combo. We'll catch you on the next one.
It's 30. I don't know how the math works out. I literally can't explain it to you, but we're going to snap because we 100% win this game, because Ironheart is going to trigger 256 times, because this is high key comedy to me. It was indeed a close one.